I like to begin with the idea of yogurt, right? I mean, people, it's like a pretty standard food people eat. But have you ever had a time where you opened up a yogurt and it did not just shoot out like a rocket and get on your jacket, get in your eye? I mean, how does the yogurt always manage to get in your eye? It like has a mind of its own. It contains live and active cultures which refer to the living organisms, Lactobacillus and Streptococcus. I apologize if you'll never look at yogurt the same, but yogurt contains live and active cultures, bacteria, these terms that I'm not going to repeat again because they'll gross you out probably forever. Right? So the next time you open up a yogurt and it explodes and gets on your jacket and gets in your eye and you're so upset and you're like, why does yogurt always do that? Does it have a mind of its own? The answer is yes, it does. There's something living inside that yogurt waiting to come out, waiting to burst forth. And as soon as you open it and it has that air, it gasps for a breath and boom, the live cultures cause it to explode. I mean, talk about learning life lessons from anything. I mean, yogurt is such a good example. It's such a good lesson. I mean, we as human beings have energy. We have energy inside. We're alive. You know, some people look like they're walking around half dead, lackadaisical, haphazard. But deep down, every single one of us, we're alive and we're active. It's our soul, that spark of heaven, that spark of God, what we call a chilek Eloka mima'al. There's a part of us that is always alive and always awake, and it's waiting to burst. It's waiting to explode with joy, with passion, with meaning, with inspiration. Moshe Rabbeinu, he says some type of incantation. Vayitmenehu b'chol. And he's literally means, and he hid him. He was hidden in the hole. But what does that mean on a deeper level? Perhaps we can explain like this. To a certain extent, this Egyptian was hidden, was buried in his own chulin. He was buried in his physicality. He was entrenched and had this barrier around him. Vayitmenei b'chol. How many people in today's society are vayitmenei b'chol? They're buried in the sand. They're buried in that profanity. They're buried in that mundane. They're buried in that chulin. They're buried in that nothingness. They're buried in that physicality. They're hiding behind it. They're hiding behind their house, their car, their money, their fame. I mean, these things are great and could be wonderful if used in the right way. But if they are an ends in and of themselves, then vayitmenei b'chol, we become buried and hidden by those very things. So deep down, we all have this neshama, this chelek Eloka mima'al, and it's waiting to come forth and waiting to burst forth, just like that yogurt explosion when you open it. For hundreds of years, the Jewish people were stuck in the confines of Egypt. They were trapped in the container that we call Mitzrayim. No nation ever escaped successfully out of Egypt, but the Jews would become the first. The yogurt has active and alive bacteria, and at our core, we are active and alive, just like yogurt, waiting to burst forth. We are filled with a tremendous amount of spiritual energy and potential. We are active and alive, and we are capable of so much. And sometimes we put barriers around ourselves. Sometimes we entrench ourselves in the realm of physicality and look at it as it ends rather than as a means. And when this happens, we don't live our lives to the truest, to the fullest of what is, actually capable from us. And I think that's an important lesson that we can learn from yogurt and about the Jewish people.